Yo, what's up, everybody? This is Brane representing KEXU 96.1 Revolutionary Po People's Radio on your dial. And this is PNN, not CNN. I'm here to represent Sports and Resistance. And here I am to tell you a little bit about an upcoming football league that used to take place back in the day, back in 2001. A man named Vince McMahon, owner of the WWF at the time, now called the WWE. You might see the kids watching it on Monday nights. Vince McMahon actually started a football league called the XFL. It stands for Extreme Football League. Back in 2001, it was half owned by him and half by NBC, and it was promoted as sports entertainment, somewhat like the wrestling is. There were gimmicks. It was encouraged violence. They wanted the game to go a little faster. Although these gimmicks and everything, it only lasted a year and got canceled after a year. Players didn't come out with their real names. They came out with names like He Hate Me and Rocket Man, and so now Vince McMahon says that he is bringing the the XFL back to rival the NFL. And his target is to bring this league back in 2020. And for an extreme football fan such as myself, this was big news back in the days. We kind of took it as like, cool, we're gonna get football all year round, and that was fun. Apparently, the first week they had ratings through the roof. It just was way more than they could ever imagine. But it fell off hard because, the brand that they were trying to bring out was like basically gimmick football. They tried to put wrestling into football, and although they were playing a real game, it wasn't scripted like wrestling is. The ratings dropped off and they ended up canceling after 1 year. Now he says he's bringing it back, and on a more serious tone, on a real football level, but they want to make the game faster. They're talking about 2-hour limits. The reason that I'm bringing this up today is that McMahon says, he basically put it out there and says that any player with any kind of criminal record is already disqualified from playing in his league, that they're not even allowed to get an opportunity, which I get it. Certain things such as like the Ray Rice case, and right now, I'm a big 49er fan. We have a savage rookie linebacker, Reuben Foster, that as soon as it hit the offseason, this guy gets in trouble, going back to his alma mater of Alabama that won the national championship, and he gets busted with weed. And it was like, oh man, here we go. And then a month later, just the other day, he got arrested for domestic violence and having an assault rifle, which happened to be an AR-15, which was also used yesterday in another school shooting, which is very sad. And so, this is something that we take seriously. I get it. Some people should not have that privilege of making millions of dollars to entertain, no matter their skill set, if they're constantly messing up in society. This is something that should be across all sports entertainment. But to come out and say that anyone with any kind of criminal record is already disqualified could be a bit extreme. Not the kind of extreme that he's looking for with the X in his name. But people get busted, for faulty charges sometimes. Sometimes petty things like, especially with the marijuana, for me that's a hard case because we from California, we from Northern California, Oakland, San Francisco. To me, marijuana is a medicine. That's a different story and a different debate for a different time. But the federal laws are what the federal laws are. So I look at that as somewhat unruly, for him to just say anyone with any kind of criminal background is already disqualified. Maybe it should be more on a case-by-case scenario. Maybe if it's like a felony, great. But some misdemeanors are a little bit out there. You know, I know people that have gotten thrown in jail for pissing in the middle of the night, but they happen to be within 100 feet of an elementary school, and then now they're charged as, you know, a sexual predator or whatever it is. So, you know, case by case could be extreme. Another thing is that he says he's the owner. This time, he didn't go half with NBC. He's just the full funder himself. So he says players will have no platform for speaking out on any kind of social injustice at all. Any player that takes the Kaepernick type knee during any national anthem is automatically terminated on the spot. Like, get your cleats, take off your jersey. You can't even go sit in the stands. Take your ass home. So, I mean, I get it. It's his league. He does what he wants. But at what point are you now stepping on the people's rights of freedom of speech? You know, and it goes back to like this whole Trumpism. Trump, he says that any NFL player should be fired on the spot, call them sons of bitches, and you know, and these players are, when they take a knee, they're not disrespecting any troops. They're not stepping on the flag. They're actually standing up for what America was built on, the freedom of speech, and to speak out. Because most of these players, they come from the same streets. They come from the hoods and from poverty. So they know what it's like. They got the money now because they got that big gigantic contract. But that doesn't mean they forgot where it came from. They remember what it felt like when they were a teenager. And personally, when I see a cop in my rearview mirror, I bitch up quick. I'm like, oh man, this ain't good, you know what I mean? Please don't turn on your lights. You know what I mean? I'm more scared of them than I am of some lunatic in the streets waving a gun around. Because, I mean, the statistics show you're more likely to die that way from a cop than you are from some gangster, from some drug dealer, or just some random punk. So, you know, these players, they're actually they're using their platform to speak out for the same kind of people they grew up around. Because, you know, us as poor folks, we don't have that platform. We have this here, but this still does not reach the amounts of millions that an NFL game reaches. So when they take a knee, that's just letting people know that they're not down with these injustices. And I for one, appreciate that. I hope that you will too. So that's your Sports and Resistance report for this week. Again, my name is Brane Damage. PNN, not CNN, Revolutionary Poor People's Radio, 96.1 FM LP. Peace.